That would be great.
I'm not certain that we're live, so maybe we'll wait 1 second
We're not-
while Robert's
Not in that big a rush. We can
figuring
give
that
Robert
out.
a couple minutes.
I'm all right.
Alan's gonna go
I
save
had a
the
horrible
day.
man cold for the last week, but other than that, I'm okay.
Oh, this is cold.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you get a picture?
Oh, we got a thumbs
Not
up?
yet.
No, you're not.
Yeah, if I qualify.
Okay.
No, I could've got it.
What's going on? What's going on?
It's gonna be an annual thing
All right, well,
anyway.
whenever
Might as
we're
well get it now.
Yeah, you're all right. Yes, I do.
And then just get 2 weeks between the
Yep.
flu shot and your.
Okay, at this
COVID.
time, we'll call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, if you would take roll call.
All right, Mr. Braun,
Present.
Mr. Combs,
Present.
Ms. Nelson,
Present.
Ms. Reclue,
Present.
Mr. Simmons,
Present.
Mr. Stone,
Present.
Mr. Washington, and Mr. West.
Here.
7 council members present and 1 absent.
At this time, you join me, Pastor Williamson is here to lead us in invocation.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, with the deepest gratitude and thanks, we give you praise for such a beautiful day in October. For all the blessings of our lives, summer has passed. This intense heat that we all tried to work through has diminished. And now, Lord, we're in the harvest season, another cycle of our lives. With that goes added and new responsibilities for us as a community. First being, over the weekend, we'll have Halloween. We don't put that at the feet of our police officers and firefighters and first responders. Every one of us who live in this community are advocates for children and their safety. It takes us all in a village to keep a child safe and prospering. So I pray for this community and all children in our community and across our nation on a very, very dangerous time for children trick-or-treating. We ask you, God, to bless our children and families and keep us safe as we protect those so vital to our lives. Next, Lord, I want to pray ahead of what will surely be very soon, a change in weather. Before long, we'll be dealing with ice and snow and the inclemency of winter. And I pray, Lord, for our street department, for all of our officers who patrol day and night, and for all those who keep the public safe in our city, in our county, and statewide. I pray ahead of the needs that they will meet and the demands that will be placed upon them so that the motoring public can do their jobs and their travel without incident. I lift up our nation tonight, Lord. We've had numerous incidents in this last 3 weeks where police officers have been injured or killed in the line of duty, most recently today in St. Louis. So I pray, Lord, for the surviving families, for the departments and colleagues, and as a nation we grieve the loss of our officers and soldiers when they die in the line of duty. Tonight, Lord, we carry that burden on behalf of the communities that these men and women serve. I pray for this session tonight and for our mayor and council persons, all of our department heads and leaders, and everyone who serves this city every day. We pray for their safety and well-being as they keep us all serviced and in good order in our community. We ask your blessings on anything discussed here tonight and any decisions that are made. We pray they are made in pleasing to you. Finally, I pray for anyone in the city family who is meeting with grief, sickness, or loss at any level. We ask your blessings upon them and your comfort and peace to be with them. All of this we agree on together and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Face the flag. Attention, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor.
Privilege, sir.
All righty. Next up, we have comments from visitors. At this time, if you wish to speak to the council, step to the podium, give us your name and your address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Hi.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everything that you do and for considering our request. I am Jen Meyerhoff, and I am the Early Childhood Director for Fulton Public Schools. I'm located at the Fulton Early Childhood Center on Wood Street. My address, is 1805 Wood Street. FECC is what we're called, and we have grown a lot over the years. We've been able to serve a lot more families, and we are now up to about 100 students and families that we serve. We are only able to have transportation for a certain population within our building, and we hope to change that someday. We're just not there yet. And arrival and dismissal are two challenging parts of our day, and we've worked really hard to make sure we're keeping traffic off of Wood Street because we know that it's been a challenge, and in August it was a lot harder, but we've worked hard and we've made it a lot better. The reason we requested a school zone is that we often see people passing. We will have families waiting to turn and someone will pass them. We also see people driving very quickly and have to stop very quickly, not to hit one of our families, one of the cars in the road. So we were just very concerned for the safety of our students and our families, and we feel that having the school zone there would just show them, hey, there is a school here, because I know we've grown and I know a lot of people might not realize that, but there is a school there, there are students there, there are families there, and just to give them that heads up that they need to slow down and watch out and be safe. So thank you very much for hearing me.
Thank you. Thanks for explaining that. Appreciate it. All right, anyone else? Seeing no one, we'll move on. Next up, the approval of the consent agenda. Council members may choose to remove an item for discussion prior to approving the agenda. Tonight, we have several items. The council meeting minutes of August 24th, September 14th, October 12th. We also have the approval of the DOA report of September. And we acknowledge also the following board and commission meeting minutes. Airport Advisory Board of September 21st. Historic Preservation Commission, May 18th. Park Board, October 6th. Public Utility Board, September 27th. And Traffic Commission, September 23rd. And that is all. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to remove the DOA and the board and commission meeting minutes, D and E, please. Okay.
Okay, and we actually don't even need a motion, so we will remove those items.
Thank you.
And you're wanting to remove all of the board and commission minutes?
I mean, I could get away with just one, but
We'll make it
just
easy.
leave it.
We'll do them all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Motion to approve the remaining consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. All right, DOA report. Councilman Braun, go ahead.
And I know it pertains to later on in the meeting. We'll be doing some voting on a resolution for Vigus Sewer. But as I read through the DOA, Engineering and Street Department, I see in here we are asking for $450,000 for Vigus Sewer and $150,000 for Northwest Industries. But yet on the other piece that we're doing the resolution later, it only calls for $150,000. And I just was curious on why that might be.
The Vigus Sewer is an ongoing contract. That's in the budget. The point repairs are specifically not outlined in the budget, but the money is in the budget.
So
But-
so we're not asking for any
So-
extra, or
So
we've
what's
already-
no, it's all in the budget, right, Mike? What- So,
Thank you.
and the one that we're doing tonight basically calls out the amount. The amount in the ongoing resolution is different.
Okay.
And like Mike just said, we actually approved the 450 in early January for Visu Sewer, and then we're approving NW Industries tonight for 150. So that's where those two numbers come from.
I didn't remember whether it was this year or last year that we did
Yeah.
do part of it. So thank you for clarifying that. And the other thing another item that I have here is, I don't understand the Stinson Creek stuff, and I mean, there's a lot of information to take there, and it might be.
What page is it?
I'm on page 9.
Page 9.
It may be more than we want to try to cover this evening, but maybe a work session on exactly what all the new and the old, and, because I certainly,
That's the council meeting, next work session. It's a great idea.
It's probably been, what, 6 or 8 months since we really talked about it much, or maybe longer.
Longer than that, I guess.
well, there's changes and there's different values
And I'm going to say this right, I mean, we're in the middle of emails right now. But there's still a lot of unknowns on what we're going to try and get the permit level set to. We're working with an engineering firm who is filed, I don't want to say a protest, has filed our position paper with the DNR to get more favorable numbers in the permit. But it's,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do that in this work session, if everybody else is good with that. And even then, to do it in a half-hour work session is going, well, it'll have to stay high level.
we're gonna skim the top of it. Those were the two things that I had most pressing on the DOA. And thank you
Okay.
for clarification from Bill and from Mike on January. I appreciate it.
All righty, anyone else on the DOA report before we move on to boards and commissions? You go ahead, you have the floor again.
All right, if we can go to
Really quickly, can we go ahead and get a motion and a second to approve that DOA report?
motion to.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
Aye.
Courtney, do you have that?
I got you.
Whatever that was.
I got it.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. All right. And boards and commissions.
So as I was reading through the boards, the minutes from the different boards on the airport specifically, and I get it, it's hard to get people to sit on some of these, but we actually had one person present. We have it's supposed to be 7 board members. That means there should be 4 there to hold a meeting, and we had 1 show up. That's really not even a meeting worthy. And I think we just need to get better at making sure we have who's there for the reason of meetings.
Are those quarterly? Kyle? Or
Yeah,
is Kyle
quarterly.
here? So I don't know, should they be stretched out a little bit further? I don't know.
Quarterly. Done.
That may help, I don't know, but yeah.
And we'll remind the, staff, I'll send an email tomorrow and just remind those that are responsible for those meetings that a quorum is necessary in order to hold those meetings and make any recommendations.
And if the board says anything about, no, that's not often enough, say, well, you didn't come to the last meeting, so the council said quarterly.
It's in the charter. The charter specifically states what we can and can't do, and if we're not careful, I think there could be some issues. But
Yeah, definitely, we can look at it, so. Alrighty,
That's it, I'm done.
cool. So we need a
Oh,
motion.
oh.
Oh, another question?
Yeah, on the traffic commission. And I'm gonna make this a theme tonight, just so you know, if I can find it. Nope, I went past it, sorry. There, that's better. Okay, thank you. Okay, under school zones, it was, commission discussed when school is in session versus Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. What's posted is 7:30 to 4, so, huh?
7:30 to 4:30.
Yeah, actually, I think it's posted 7 to 4:30. Is it 7:30 to 4:30? Okay, I've seen 4:30, I know, you're right. Anyway, what's posted isn't consistent with, I think, the way it's being interpreted. So basically, a motorist going through those zones is going to see that, and it's going to be applicable on Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, everything. So, my opinion, I'd like to see us do some benchmarking through MML or, you know, other sources and see what other cities use as, and then, you know, and have some further discussion on it. That's all I'm asking for.
We did look into this and we had some legal review as far as what's the correct and least subjective wording. And that's why in the end they chose to leave it at the 7:30 to 4:30. And Chief Myers might be a little bit better at answering this, but I don't believe anyone's getting a school zone ticket on a Saturday or a Sunday. So, in order to keep things consistent within the code and so that when we go to prosecute any tickets that are written, we have to make sure it's consistent throughout, and that's why it was chosen to keep that way.
'Cause I've seen in other communities when children are present. Now, I'm not sure where that breaks, you know, 18 years old or
Right.
where that breaks either. But I think it's confusing to the motorists. So can we get the signs updated then to say during the school year, during the, you know, I mean, does this apply on August the 1st when there's no schools
Like
in
Courtney said,
session?
we talked to Riley about this, and if you put too many clarifiers on there,
Yeah,
then the officer is gonna have to document that school was in session, or that there were children present, or with it just being or just, you know, I think making it Monday through Friday,
It would be
7:30 to
very
4:30.
easy for us to clarify and put on our sign what our code says, which says Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. So if we added on our sign Monday through Friday, and some of them might have that, I'm not sure.
I haven't
Mike's
seen any, but
indicating maybe they do. So
Okay.
maybe we just need to look and make sure that the signs are uniform and they indicate Monday through Friday.
that's really what I'm asking for,
Okay.
some consistency.
We can look
Exactly.
into that.
And some clarity for the motorists, you know? Okay.
Could we make it potentially consistent throughout town in a school zone as well? For instance, and I understand part of it, maybe it's a little different location, but Business 54 in front of Bartlett has flashing signs. Yes, it might cost us a little bit of money as the city, but putting flashing signs at the school zones as well
Well,
could
and-
be helpful.
Bush has got it also.
Yeah,
They do now, and I've seen the same thing that you were alluding to, Ms. Meyerhoff, is it? Okay. Was alluding to at St. Peter's when they've dismissed. It's backed all the way out to, it was on Highway Z Thursday when I went up there. So, or not Z, it was on Wood Street, about 2 or 3 vehicles. So it's blocking traffic and all that, and so it's, you know, I'm gonna ask for this to
If Kyle
be,
was here, he might be able to explain a little bit better. but
Right.
Might, you know, I don't know when the next
I'd like to
traffic
take this to,
commission meeting is, but.
okay, I'd like to take this to a work session, is where I'm gonna go with this.
Gotcha.
And say, let's discuss, let's get some consistency, and, you know, is it only the time when the children are arriving and dismissing that's the problem, or does it need to be all day, or what, you know? And I don't even know what the guidance is. I can tell you, there's one major school in town that doesn't even have them. And do we include colleges? We have 2 colleges in town. You know, where's the line drawn, and what's the standard, and are we applying it consistently? And I'd like to, and there's other issues with, in my opinion, speed limits in town and their consistency that I would like to talk at a at a session. And I will write these down and send them to the staff and the rest of the council, so I don't want to just hit you blind and say, here's what my question is, why is it this way? You know, if that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Yeah.
So I can move for acknowledgement of the following board commission meeting minutes to accept them?
Second.
And thank
Motion
you.
and a second on the floor. Any questions or discussion on that? All those in favor say yes,
Yes.
and opposed, no. Presentation of the September financials up next. Ms. Holschlag, if you would.
I start off, as I always do, by telling you about our sales tax collections. With 8 months recorded, we are 7.25% ahead of last year.
Can you say that again?
Louder,
I will repeat myself.
louder.
With 8 months recorded, we are 7.25% ahead of the same period of time last year.
What's the dollar value to that, being 7.25%?
Let me think. 100,
250,000?
And is that about what you estimated it would be, or did you think it would be
no,
lower?
we always estimate revenues conservatively.
Okay. I thought that was higher.
Revenues conservatively,
3 million, 7%, 280,000?
210,000, 225, something like that.
Okay. Good.
It's a good amount of money.
A lot of money floating around out there.
Allows us to provide services, right?
Yep.
I have notes on the, major things that happened this month. I will draw your attention to the fact that the rec center made their first payment in September 1st. Principal was $21,000, interest was $12,500 or so. We purchased a load of avgas for the airport. Electric had a good month, mainly because their expenses were down considerably. But it's the time of year when the cost of purchase power went down.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Kathy, I missed a spot on the DOA, and it's really a pretty simple question, and maybe it's just flip-flop. But on the utility accounts, it says you billed 6,000 utility accounts, but you posted 9,000.
That's very typical for a month.
Is it really?
A lot of people, we have certain customers who make 2 payments a month. Maybe they get paid on the 15th and the 30th. We also have a significant amount of people who receive energy assistance. So we post the pledge they receive, whether it be from SERV or CMCA, but they are required to pay their water, sewer, and trash. So those accounts automatically have 2 payments posted.
Gotcha.
So
It's kind of odd
yeah,
when you
you
see
look at it and you say,
3,000.
yeah, but
difference.
that's the norm rather than the rule.
Okay, that was.
Or that's the rule rather than the whatever.
I didn't mean to go backwards.
No,
I'm
it's-
not changing the DOA.
Good to catch that.
Okay, I was a little high. I just looked at the budget and did the 7.2%, about 240,000.
Being conservative, of course, I said 225.
And I said 280, so.
But I think
Yeah.
that's consistent across the county. Other municipalities are seeing the same things. So that's.
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine who's the CFO at Eureka on the way down here
Oh, okay.
this evening, and she said hers
Same
was
thing
up
there.
significantly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So next year might be a different story, huh?
we can only hope.
Keep it up.
That's right.
All righty. Any other questions on or any questions, period, on the?
Move for acceptance.
Second?
Motion and a second.
Thanks, Kathy.
All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, no? Thank
Thank you, Kathy.
you. Okay. Unfinished business, smart grid update. What's happening?
Smart Grid is moving on. The IT guy, he had other issues this past month with SCADA and some other things, and he got them worked out. The field work has continued. Route 30 the walk is being done right now on the meters. 37 is complete, 44 is complete, 45 is complete, 51 is complete. And Kathy sent him some more routes. So as soon as he gets some SCADA stuff tied up where he can do the IT magic, we'll try to get some more bills out. We are still currently billing 2 routes as of now. So that's the update.
So progress is happening, it's just kind of gotta.
It's kind of leapfrogging right now.
Yeah, leapfrogging.
We try to take advantage of, we still had good weather and had the guys and gals go out there and get the field work done, even though IT couldn't get to it at the time.
So those 2 routes that we're billing electronically
Yeah.
are how much of a percentage of what we've got approximately?
That's a Kathy number.
Oh, they're big ones, though. They're big ones, though, aren't they?
I think we've got the Mocaine route now. That would be a pretty good size one if we can get that one. No, we haven't built that one yet. That's one in the process right now, and that would get your subdivision, Mocaine Road, and that's a pretty good size route there,
But
if we get it built.
we're making progress.
We're making progress.
Okay.
I think this month it actually worked out, in Kathy's favor, even we had, with holidays and stuff, since we had some routes, we could electronic read. That helped Kathy keep those billing cycles around 30 days, because holidays we do struggle with those to keep those bills even.
Okay.
Sir?
I didn't hear what Kathy said, how many routes there are. Did you say 60?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's good to hear that it's paying a little dividends once in a while.
Yep.
That's good. Thank you for the update.
Okay.
Thanks, Gerald.
All righty, next up, Legends Recplex facility update. What's happening out there at Clay?
Well, things are going well. Numbers are on the rise. We're doing pretty good. We have 220 memberships. That consists of a little over 500 members. So again, that number's steadily increasing since we opened. We're averaging about 58 visitors a day. Sometimes that can be as high as 70 or 80 visitors. Sometimes it's a little bit lower. We're starting to get a lot of inquiries and a lot of confirmations on facility rentals. We're doing a lot more birthday party packages. We have several scheduled for November. We're starting to see now that it's getting colder, a lot of the teams are coming in wanting to rent the turf field and the batting cage. Some of the teams want to rent it all the way through March. So we're going to see a lot of rentals I'd say in the next couple of weeks. Banquet room, we have it scheduled for 8 dates in November. So that's kind of good. We're kind of pushing to get that going, get some rentals going in that area, and that's starting to take off. Programming wise, a lot of activities scheduled for November, December, January. Our youth basketball league's going on. We got some fitness classes going. We're doing a variety of small tournaments, team tournaments like wiffle ball, dodgeball, spike ball, things like that. We're going to do some video game nights, bring the kids in on Friday nights and have little competitions with video games. We're going to do a men's basketball league in December. We're going to get that started. We're going to do some indoor golf clinics and lessons in December, and then we're going to try to offer some strength and conditioning classes. So get people in there using the fitness center a little more. And then when we get into January, we're going to start adding youth and adult volleyball. So a lot of stuff on the schedule. Calendar's filling up. We're excited about that, but it's kind of tough trying to fit it all in. But that's the goal, to fill the schedule. So we're working hard on that. Kind of a big challenge we're facing is just making sure we're getting the word out, making sure people hear about it. We're kind of hearing that maybe social media isn't reaching some people. So we're looking at ideas to boost social media, boost our posts, do a little more advertising that way. We're looking at like community calendars, maybe getting some free radio advertising, stuff like that. So we're looking at a lot of different things. Like I said, it's going well. The maintenance issues are less frequent. and they're smaller, so we're not having a lot of big things pop up. So, so far, knock on wood, I think things are going well.
Did we get any resolution with backboards?
Yeah, it wasn't really what I wanted. We ended up paying, I think we paid $900 for the backboard. They would not cover his warranty. There was a debate whether we did it or there was an issue with the backboard. So we ended up paying $900. Took us about 10 weeks to get it. We did not pay for the installation. We did the installation ourselves and saved about $1,200 on that. So we have 6 workable backboards right now. Keep our fingers crossed.
Do we need to order another one to have it ready for the next time?
At that price, I'm going to say no, but it's going to be a challenge. I think some options we have now is that, if one breaks, we might be able to shuffle one around now that we understand how to install them and things like that. So we'll see.
Is there a different material that wouldn't be maybe quite as luxurious or whatever that would work if we had to go a different route?
We haven't investigated that. I mean, obviously we have glass backboards. They're controlled where they can go up and down, and they're motorized, things like that. So I think we just have to investigate that. Maybe if we went with metal or something like that.
That was my question.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that was my question. Is there something that's a little bit more durable and, a little more? for our
2
facility?
times in this amount of time is pretty.
Yeah, let's hope that's the last.
Hopefully, a big coincidence.
Yeah, we'll see. But like I said, and hopefully things get better where the lead times aren't so long and we can get products
True.
sooner.
Yeah.
That's our hope.
I know, Clay, that we're testing out a lot of different programs right now. Has there been any successful, I know you talked about Zumba. Have we started doing those classes consistently, or?
Yeah, I mean, Zumba's going well, yoga's going well. We tried a wiffle ball tournament Sunday. We had a couple of teams. So we're gonna try that again in November. We did a intro to investing class. We were kind of late getting that advertised, so it didn't go well, but the people that were gonna help us with it, they'd like to do it again in the spring. So that'll give us a little more lead time and things like that.
I'd certainly like to visit with you we'll visit about that, but.
Okay. The youth basketball league, I mean, it's kind of small. It has 4 teams. It's 2nd through 4th graders, but I think even some of the other places in town are having trouble getting
Are we
participants.
going to do indoor soccer for kids? Is there enough space?
We may look at doing like a 3-on-3 soccer.
Yeah.
Maybe in the spring.
And you said there was, in the month of November alone, the banquet was booked 8 days?
That's correct.
That's pretty.
That's good. We have one of them. We're hosting a cornhole league. They're going to come in on Tuesday nights and play cornhole. It's going to be an 8-week league, and then we're going to sell concessions. We're going to handle all the concessions and stuff. So we're getting all that set up. That starts next Tuesday. We have one of the colleges, one of the sororities is coming in having a formal dance, and then we have a local church that's having a 2-day conference. I guess I'd call it a conference.
Anybody talking about the prices? How they compare?
We've had a couple local businesses look at it for large staff type meetings. And I think they got a little bit scared away of the price. So, we're having some discussions with them to kind of see, what they'd feel comfortable paying. We're not ready to start negotiating those prices, but we'd like to have that feedback so we know for next year what to do.
Sounds like things are getting there.
It's going.
It's getting busier. It's
Yeah.
getting busier.
Has anybody come to Coffee with the Mayor?
Well, we haven't had it again. The
Just
couple
once.
did though.
Okay.
Yeah, we had
First
it once.
Monday of every month is when we'll have it. So
You gotta try
I
new
know.
things.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it again.
I just thought that would just be so popular.
I know, right?
well,
I didn't have quite the confidence you did. So.
we had 2 guests. One lady, it was her first time there. She said she was going to encourage her relatives to use it and visit it. Another gentleman was already a member, and he had some input on some issues that, or maybe some concerns, and it was kind of good to get his feedback. And the mayor and I sat and visited with him and had some donuts and coffee, and
It was a
good.
worthwhile thing.
Yes.
Worthwhile thing.
And the next one's scheduled for Monday the 1st.
Y'all are invited.
I thought you went there.
We're gonna do another podcast too. That was another kind of a dud, but we did get some response to it. We had an interview with one of the news stations on that, so we're gonna try to do that. I may have to get with Alan to improve our technique a little. We really threw it together last minute, but hopefully, we'll be doing that again, and I'll be talking to you guys about that.
And I would just ask the council, if you're Facebook users, social media users, try to help us spread the word, share it, like it. I think that helps us get the word out. Obviously, we're on a tight budget as far as advertising, so we're dependent on social media, free advertising, things like that.
Sure.
And we don't have a newspaper anymore, so that's a little bit of a challenge.
We have
How
some
much do we
newspaper.
spend on boosting on Facebook?
We're just now starting to boost, so we're kind of getting our brains wrapped around what that's all about. And
I feel like for street fair, it makes a huge difference for a little amount of money for us.
we boosted 2 programs today. I think we spent a budget of $25 for each program, and I think what I was hearing, it was going to reach 400 to 1,000 people that we might not normally get. So we're going to kind of give it a little test run, see how it goes, and see if that helps.
Well, sounds like you're really trying all kinds of new things, and my hat's off to you guys. Great work out there.
Yep, thank you.
It's
Thank
not
you.
easy to just put yourself out there and do all these crazy things you're doing, so I see that.
Well, like I said, I think over time the community will tell us what they want.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we just keep putting it out there and keep offering it, and hopefully they take advantage of it.
I have a couple questions. One is, one's a question, one's a statement. And you may have covered this and I missed it, but did we get anywhere with is the internet getting any better, the Wi-Fi in the facility any better?
I think it depends on who you ask, and what day it is. Some days it feels like it's working good, and then, I hear people tell me, the Wi-Fi is not working.
It's probably spotty throughout the building.
It is.
Some places it works great, otherwise you hit to
I
do this.
don't mind
and-
it. I enjoy it not having Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, but you're a different,
What? I'm what?
generational.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna go too
No,
far.
it is. There's some spots that work and spots that probably never will.
Yeah.
And that was a big topic of discussion at the last park board meeting. How much should we spend to provide that type of service?
Sure.
I think calling's always going to be an issue in that building. Robert Boone and I met with a guy from another company, kind of just an introductory meeting, and he's going to kind of take a look at the building too and see if he can offer suggestions and ideas that might help us.
The other thing I was gonna mention is I noticed the red signs around the area, kind of directing people towards it, and I think I hope that pays some dividends. It's probably too early to tell. I'm not sure how long they've been up. I just have noticed them in the last
Recent?
3 or 4
Yeah, I think
days,
they've been up
you know.
maybe three or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Traffic department did that, and kind of at the major intersections, they point you in that general direction.
Right.
So hopefully it'll help. A lot of times what we're seeing is that, Google Maps or the GPS systems haven't really picked up on the address yet.
And that's not unusual with a new facility,
So it may take a while,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Any other questions for Clay? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clay.
We do not have new business tonight. Council concerns, I'll start to my left. Councilman West?
Really, I've already brought it up. I'd like to have the work session about, speed limits throughout town and just maybe set some direction and have some discussions of what our thoughts are and hopefully get some input from citizens, but that's really it. Thank you.
I know a lot of municipalities do some online survey type stuff, which that may be something we could look at or talk
Sure.
about it.
Sure, could be. I'm thinking, probably 10, 15-minute discussion in a work session would probably air a lot of things,
Yeah, Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Councilman Simmons?
No,
Councilwoman
No
Rucliffe?
concerns tonight, thank you.
Councilman Stone?
Just one, large roll-off dumpster was placed on South Ravine at the crest of a hill, and it's very awkward for that traffic. And I don't know if there's an opportunity that I fully recognize the need for it and why it was placed where it was placed for the residents that's using it. But if there's opportunity to look to see if maybe we could put like no parking on the other side of the street. There's been a few evenings this last week where somebody has parked on the east side of the street, the dumpster's on the west side of the street, it's at the crest of the hill at the top of, and so it just,
People fly up, down through there too.
Yep.
In the mornings,
and
especially
when
going to
there's
school
only,
or work.
when there's only one lane and you're at the top of a hill,
Yeah,
I've
probably
had
just
3 or
need to
4
call Wendy and
constituents.
she'll get it taken care of.
Well, maybe we might get some temporary no parking signs put up on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got some of those by police orders. Just drive a couple of those and
Yes.
when the roll-off goes away, you pull them.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yep, cool. Absolutely. Councilman Braun?
I have two different things. Whoever gave me the popcorn snack ball, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Then secondly, and I don't know how, I have an idea how we go about it, but as far as charter changes, I would really like to entertain some charter changes to the charter for a couple of items. It's something that we have to talk about early and often because it does have to go on the ballot to the vote of the people. So I think it's a conversation that we should maybe look at.
We kind of do a little bit of discussion about that annually, or a little bit of a kind of a inventory or assessment, right, Courtney? I mean,
Are you,
We
Yeah.
have done that in the past when the council has asked to look at it, but we don't routinely.
are you looking at April of this year for the changes, or?
Is it too early? Is it too late? I don't.
You're almost too late.
Almost.
Okay, all right.
It'd be, I think it would be possible, but it would be
We would be
a struggle.
pushing it,
It would be
yeah.
a struggle.
We would essentially need every single meeting that we have due to those state changes on filing deadlines.
Well, that's fine then. I mean, we could certainly look at November of next year.
No, it would be, probably in the next April. 'Cause if we do put some on the November ballot, it would be probably cost prohibitive
Because it would be a special for us.
for us.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I just think that it's pretty important that we.
Yeah, I
that we look
agree.
at
I
some
think
of
you're correct. And if we have to wait another year or deal with it, whatever, I think it needs to be.
but we may
Address.
forget though if we don't try to
Well,
schedule.
I won't forget.
I was even
No,
thinking
no,
maybe
I
some
mean,
of the
you know.
council could start putting their thoughts together and
Yeah.
submit them, and
Fine.
we would be able to compile those and let everybody else know what everybody's thinking.
What
That's
they're
a
thinking.
smart way to start it.
Right.
Take a look at it and see.
But if we don't start doing it now, we'll be here a year from now and we'll
That's
say,
right.
oh, we
And
missed
I-
our time again.
And
So-
hopefully you can look at it, on your own time and
Uh-huh.
kind of come up with the thoughts and the ideas. And if we do the compilation of the items, then we'll just come and we'll be discussing those items. The pros and cons, the modifications.
Yeah, so if we can start, if you want to start just kind of emailing what you're seeing, what your interest is, I think that would be very helpful.
And can we check and see for sure what the deadlines are?
So the deadline is December 28th.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
December 7th is day one and December 28th is now the final filing deadline.
That's it. That's
So it moved it up about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll
Yeah.
start an email thread, or maybe Courtney or somebody will on this. We'll start something to get some feedback. Maybe
That'd be
put a
great.
deadline 3 or 4 months out or something. All right. Councilman Combs?
Nothing tonight.
All right, Councilwoman Nelson?
Nothing tonight.
All righty. Resolutions. Councilwoman Recluse, you would present Resolution 3423.
Yes, Mr. Resolution number 3423, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to sign all necessary documents in relation to a contract with NW Industries LLC of Fulton, Missouri for the sanitary sewer point repair project at a value of not to exceed $150,000. I make a motion to accept the resolution at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Bill, do you want to clarify this or talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, please.
I mean, this is something we,
I think this is very important for, there's a big difference between what this is versus the lining. And the lining is kind of designed to keep the sanitary sewer in the pipe and the stormwater out of the pipe. What this point repair does is when they're preparing to line the sewers, we do a lot of cammering and we find areas that the sewer line is actually collapsed or it's off joint, it is moved and is settled. What this does is it requires, with the lining, they just go into the manholes and drag this fiberglass sock from one manhole to the next and inflate it and it gets hard. What this point repair does is they actually have to dig. And they'll go down and dig and they may replace anywhere from 4 feet to 54 feet of pipe to repair the damaged section. Some of the sewer lines in this town are 100 years old. So the fact that we have some that have collapsed, that have just deteriorated to the point where it is causing issues. And then when that sewer line collapses, stuff catches on it. The flow doesn't go through there smoothly and quickly and easily. And when you do get rain, the flow is restricted so much that the water or the storm water backs up and it can't get through there fast. So it backs up in the sanitary sewer pipe, and that's when we're getting backups into basements. And I am disappointed to say we just had our first backup into a basement in a year. And I never heard if we determined what the cause of that was or not, if it was on us or if it was on the homeowner whose responsibility. But we, I was feeling really good that we hadn't had a single backup, but I can't say it anymore. We had one. So. But
basically this is repairs that need to be done.
Yes.
The pipes are old.
At very specific locations, not general lining of sewer pipe.
Again, this is year 2 of a contract with this provider.
Thank you.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? I'll call for the question. All those in favor say yes.
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 And opposed, no. Thank you. Moving on to ordinances. Councilman Stone, if you'd present bill number 1627.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Bill number 1627, an ordinance amending section 110-248 speed limits, paragraph 2, Fulton City Code by adding a street to be designated as a school zone and establishing an effective date. I wholeheartedly make a motion to advance bill number 1627 to second reading at the next scheduled council meeting.
Anyone?
Second?
Second? There we go. Okay, I have a motion and a second. So this is what Ms. Meyerhoff was talking about earlier, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's the FEC school, right? Yeah, right. Okay. And are there any questions or discussion you want to explain? Anybody want to talk about this?
I would be happy to discuss a little bit. I think Mr. West was asking that we can be consistent with all of the schools and have a time to do that. I think it's important that we do it, but making sure that we're consistent with all the schools that we're doing the same thing with. If I heard Mr. West earlier correctly, that maybe hold off until we have that opportunity to visit about them all and get them all done at once.
I would disagree. I mean, this is a necessary change that needs to be made now. If we do want to look at standardizing, changing, looking at something across the board, we can do that. And if it means a small modification to this in the future, then so be it. But right now, this is an area, this is preschool, this is
for the kids.
elementary age, and this is an area that's needed a school zone ever since that building was placed there.
But the, if I may, the alternate school that was there, I don't believe is there anymore, is it? I mean, I do appreciate you coming in and speaking with us tonight, and you provided a lot of clarification where we really didn't have a lot of information prior to. So thank you for that. But if it's only a problem of arrival and dismissal, do we really need to have a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit there the entire day? This road was constructed as a bypass around Business 54, and we're slowly whittling it away. It's from nearly 8th Street all the way to 10th, or to Z now, is 20 almost all the time. And then now we're going to start chipping into the next section. Almost all the way to St. Eunice. So, I would ask maybe Mr. Teal to come up and say, why are we going all the way up to 475 feet of industrial drive and then all the way down to Westwood, I think, yeah, down to Westwood Street? I mean, do we need that large a thing when I understand the concern, and I've noted at other schools that when schools are letting out especially, there's a lot of backed up vehicles into the street, which is a big concern, and I agree.
Would anyone object to hearing from Mrs. Meyerhoff? Would you mind coming up?
No.
Is there a time of day that maybe we could go check this out for ourselves to see what the issue is? Maybe what's a good time of day for? Would that work for everybody? Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:45 is a good time of day.
Huh?
3 is a good time of day to 3:15-ish. Those are good
The
times.
normal times.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much 7:45 to a little after 8, and then the afternoon.
And it's kind of right as you're going north past YMCA. It's on the
We're right
left.
in
There's
front
kind of a little curve there.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever use the paths?
We do, we use the trail. Kids, classes go for walks out there a lot, yeah.
That was the
So,
part I was
that
going to
for
bring
me
up.
right
is that-
there
Do
is.
that walk, or are there any, those children don't walk, I mean, they're all preschool age, is that correct?
Yeah, but they go for lots of nature walks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do
I
that.
see, okay.
There's activity around that building all day long. It's not just arrival and departure.
So
Those are
that-
most
It's like,
challenging
it's just like
times.
any other
Yeah.
school.
So are they on the walking trail there?
They use the trail, yes.
Is that what they're on?
How many kids do you have in a class?
In a class, so we have different class sizes, but typically 10 kids to 1 adult is the state requirement. So most of our classes are 10. We have 1 to
And how
15.
many classes would go out at one time?
I mean, it just depends. Typically, they're on the playground or they're around the building going for their walks. So maybe out front, you might have 1 to 2 at a time.
I see.
You're never gonna have all of the
Sure.
100 of them out there, so.
But some of them can be a handful.
Yeah.
That's all kids can.
Yes.
And that's what I was getting at. If you take 2 classes and you have 25-year-olds,
Yes.
they're crazy
And we
sometimes.
have 3-year-olds
I have
also.
one.
Yeah.
I
we
have a
3 to
6-year-old.
5-year-olds, so yes,
So,
yes.
you know,
And our
they
teachers
are.
are amazing, but yes.
Yes,
There are.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
The
maybe-
concern I have is, the reasons I've heard is because of traffic, not because of the children.
That's our
Because they're
primary.
pretty far, well, I understand, but
Yeah.
they're fairly far away from Wood Street.
On the street.
If we've got people passing cars trying to make a left turn, that to me is something the police need to get involved with.
Yeah, that's an
And
enforcement
they
issue.
have been,
And-
they have given us a lot of support, and they have
Okay,
parked out there, yes.
good.
But they can't be there like
Because
every minute.
I can't see how just saying it's a school zone is gonna stop those people.
No.
Well,
I
but
mean,
it
if
will.
they're-
I mean, if you think about, Bush School, just down the road from there, making that a school zone changes the way people drive around a school zone. Same way with Bartley School, McIntyre School, the middle school, all of that area right around there.
And all of them, the school zone is there because kids are crossing the street.
And
Where
walking
they-
to
And
school.
walking
and
along
walking
the-
to and from school.
And walking
And you
along
don't
that.
see that at this other school.
And are we going to do that with other daycares in town?
Well, it's not a daycare, it's a school.
yes,
It's
we
part of
are
the
a
public school system. That's the difference. It's not a daycare, it's part of the public
Okay.
school system.
What age do you have there?
3 to 5.
That's daycare.
That's
Preschool.
We could
preschool.
talk about that a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Definitely
Two
preschool.
different things.
They
Yeah.
are two different things, absolutely.
Okay, it's
We're
preschool.
Certified teachers, I mean, I could go on
Right.
and on, but I
Right.
won't.
It's preschool, okay.
Absolutely.
But it's, maybe we're confused about this because there is no set standard. There is no, this is what a school zone is supposed to be for, and I don't know.
I don't think you can set a blanket school zone anything. I think every situation has to have its own merit and its own, I mean, Chief Myers may disagree with me, but I think there's different
I'd like to hear what he has to
challenges for
say about
every
this too.
situation,
Yeah.
but.
Come on,
I
Chief.
just would like to see if we're gonna do a school zone there, which I'm perfectly fine with, we put flashing signs so we're consistent with the rest of our school zones or other school zones that we have in the city.
Yeah, question?
Thanks for coming in.
I do agree with Councilman West, that is the main artery into our city, or through our city. On the other hand, it would not, the difference in the speed would probably not be more than 10 seconds difference in your travel. So you have to weigh out if you want to try to protect our kids more, because there is cars in and out of there all day long. And I've been up there, they had a major problem, but that's been corrected. There was cars backed up sometimes clear to the YMCA trying to get in there. And so we addressed it, they addressed that.
We worked on that.
And it's, I've been up there since then. I was up there, in fact, just this morning, and there was not an issue of the car was backed up. So, it's kind of how you all want to look at it, but.
I don't want anybody to misunderstand. I do want to protect the children.
Sure,
but,
I know you do.
But it's 20 miles an hour is very difficult to drive, and that's part of the, what is the standard for a speed limit? Yes, I do have a lead foot, but I do the speed limit in town. I can avoid this area completely, although I live right there. I can avoid it completely. I don't have to drive through this area, but other people do,
Well, it varies,
So-
in Columbia, I think they've got some 15 mile an hour.
There are some.
I don't even know how you can go that slow for
Yeah, I know.
a
That's-
distance, but
yeah.
they have 15 and up to 20. That's usually what I've seen in other cities.
And does it need to be as long as we're making it? Is that because the children get out on the walk? Is that why we've asked from Wood Hill, Westwood all the way up to almost
Well,
industrial?
Even the children are our most important thing here, but there's traffic in and out of there all day as well.
Oh, yeah.
You
We do
know,
have a dismissal at 11 also, and another
Yep.
arrival at 12. I should have mentioned that. 'cause
Okay.
We have a
Yes.
half-day program also.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
there
you.
is that during the day.
All right.
and the 7:30 to 4:30, that, if you want to go 7:30 to 4, maybe, I wouldn't mind that. But, and you made mention a while ago, about when school's in session. And we don't write tickets when school's not in session.
Okay.
Because, and one of the issues when we looked at another ordinance, was that, how would we know if they're in session?
Right.
Well, I can tell you 99% of the time, my officers know if they're school.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
we
Yeah.
use discretion on
That's
that.
pretty obvious most of the time.
Sure, yeah, it is.
I mean, there may be the odd day off, but, most of the
Well,
time we know.
sometimes there's Saturday sessions, sometimes we have summer school,
That's
but they
true.
know when those things are going on.
Right.
So we use discretion, and it's worked for 40 years, 30 years, I don't know how long.
Okay.
And if you happen to err on the side of caution, you're going slower instead of faster, so
Right.
Sure.
that's not a
Sure.
bad thing.
No.
And we put the signs up there, and the traffic commission voted to do that, not to write tickets because it's not an ordinance yet, but just to let people know, let them get used to it. We put a stop sign up at, where was that, 9th and Ewing, and people ran that for 6 months. not because they wanted to run a stop sign, it's just because they hadn't noticed it.
Didn't see
So we
it.
put the signs up a little earlier, and then if you all choose to do an ordinance, then
That's why they're there.
we'll start probably stopping some cars, probably not writing tickets for maybe 3 weeks or a month, just because people go through there every day and they just don't realize we've changed it.
Right, give people
So,
warnings or
We
something.
use discretion on all that.
So, Chief, have we sat in like the parking lot of the YMCA and monitored and what vehicles are going through and, you know, is it, I'm afraid a lot of it is the high school kids leaving, you know, and then I'm not sure if there's not school buses going through there, or there are other vehicles that are there. I mean, I know, I walk Wood Street a lot and I see a lot of, you know, dump trucks, you name it, it's stuff going through there. I mean, it's a major thoroughfare and, you know, we've got 20 miles an hour through a good portion of it now.
I certainly understand that, yes.
You know, I'm the one that pushed for St. Peter's to have a school zone, but at that time, there were a lot of kids walking in and out. I don't know that we even have that much. Now it's everybody drops off and they're backed out clear to Wood Street last Thursday. But it was an early dismissal, so it was an unusual
There's still kids that
circumstance.
walk
There are.
Yeah.
and bike.
At St. Peter's? Okay, and I don't know, but a
So
few.
if this is fair, let's,
And Westminster is another street, we have a college up there, and so,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's quite a stretch through there, we have to slow traffic down.
Right.
Again, that's just for the safety of the students.
Sure.
So why would we stop at Westwood? I mean, you're talking Westwood to Z
Yeah.
is 30 miles an hour, and it's only like 100 feet,
A little bit further, but yeah.
or, okay, 150 feet,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not, yeah.
I mean, it's not a very big distance.
No, it's not.
I mean, why don't we just, if we're gonna do this, it's Z to wherever the,
475.
South of
South of-
Industrial.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be looked into. We need to look into it.
Good point.
Okay.
it might lose the
Yes.
effectiveness of having the
I
school
agree.
zone, though. It might lose the effectiveness by not having it kind of right there near the school, I think. I don't know.
But-
Would it be fair to,
Of
This-
Wood Street, though. I
is
mean,
it the same
the
kind of
entire
deal?
street now is pretty much a school zone.
So I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think what Mike's saying, why not just go from industrial all the way
all the
south
way
to
to
8th?
Eighth.
Okay,
Yeah.
I vote yes.
We're pretty much there already.
We could just move signs
moved.
that way. We could move flashing signs and
You can
cover it
almost go
all.
to St. Eunice, to be quite honest.
Almost. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you know, that would make sense, the YMCA is as busy as they are some days.
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Right.
Sure, of course.
Well, in the
Traffic
summertime,
in and out
the
there a
kids that are, I'm sorry, Chief, in the summertime with the children that are at the YMCA, I see them walking down to the park, you know, Veterans Park. I see them going up to the pool, you know, so, I mean, it's there, but, you know, motorists just need to be aware of pedestrians as well, you know.
And that's
And
what a
most-
school zone does.
And most motors do pay attention to signs,
Mm-hmm.
not all, but most do.
One thing about that area, there's a crest and there's a turn.
Mhm.
Both of those things create a different situation than the wide, straight stretch on Wood Street. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right.
I'd say we all need to look at it. If we're gonna, let's
I
not
would-
kill it, let's give it,
Yeah.
I was gonna make a motion tonight to table it, but after hearing what I've heard tonight, I can make that offer, but,
So that was you saying you were going to make a motion, but not actually making a motion?
I'm not going to do it now. That's right.
Okay.
That was my
Okay.
intention tonight before,
Yeah, all right.
when I came.
Okay.
I'm, willing to listen. I would ask everybody to go up there and drive it. I still have the question of why are we going as far as we're going?
Okay.
Okay, again, what's our standard? What should it be? And I know it's kind of a case-by-case basis to some degree too.
And I might say the school has worked very, very well with us
Yeah.
in getting that situation cleaned up out
Very
there
good.
and cleared up.
Very good.
How do they solve their issue?
We,
Yes,
kind of a new issue
share it with us.
because we grow every year.
Right.
And we should have grown more last year, but with COVID, we just didn't. So this year was our biggest number we've ever had, so we didn't even see it coming, the issue. Basically, we just got smarter about how we were pulling cars in, and we worked with the police quite a bit, and our director of transportation has come out because we didn't have that experience. So now we just know, we have row 1, we have row 2, we pull these guys around, like,
Gotcha.
engineers have gotten better at it.
Way to go.
Oh.
Good.
Open the doors to Bartley earlier.
Yes.
That way all the kids aren't standing out in freezing weather and all the cars back up in the highway there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that
And if you just open the doors at 7:45, everybody would drop their kids off and they could get those cars out of there
I
and
agree.
not be blocking the highway.
She doesn't have anything.
Now you know where Mr. Johnson drives.
Yeah,
You
that's
are
what
part of
we,
the
I do
school
too,
system.
yeah.
I just don't know the part.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
All right, so we do have a motion and a second on the table to move this to second reading at our next meeting.
Thank you, Courtney.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
She keeps it straight.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
No.
Thanks, everybody, and let's,
Good,
Get my no down.
Was that a no, Mr. West?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
oh, sorry, thank you.
okay.
Okay, moving on to our next first read ordinance, bill number 1628, if you would, Councilman Braun.
Bill number 1628, an ordinance amending Chapter 42 Elections, Fulton City Code by repealing certain legislation and enacting new legislation in lieu thereof, and in establishing an effective date. I make a motion to move 1628 to second read at next scheduled meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
All right, so as Bill and I kind of indicated earlier, there have been some changes on the state level as to elections and those regulations. So when I went in to kind of check what we have on the books to make sure we're in compliance, as can be said about some of our code in general, some of this has not been touched since prior to 1980. So you'll see that the things that are in bold print, the new legislation, it's really just simple housekeeping measures. It's clarifying verbiage, using words such as they instead of a gender-specific term. So really, nothing of substance is changing with this. It's simply changing words so that we're just clarifying exactly what we're talking about. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do have a question. For example, Ward 1 and Ward 2 both vote here, but when there's a citywide election, the county does not separate those ballots out. Is that possible that they could do that?
So the reason I clarified this in here is because we truly, in the end, we can have in our ordinance that we want people to vote in certain locations, but it's up to the election authority, which is the county clerk.
Right.
So she or he can designate exactly where they want that to go. And I will say, wards 1 and 2, probably 6 years ago, they chose to combine the polling locations in
Right.
order to save money.
Sure.
And because Ward 2 is typically a smaller population.
Here we are.
So, I mean, we definitely see
But
an influx here for like a presidential election. That's
Right.
a very busy election. But municipal, it's worked very well
Yeah.
to have both come to this one location.
I don't have an issue with that. I would just like to see them separate the voting so you knew.
So you knew where you were. And
Right.
yeah, I can definitely communicate that to the county clerk.
Okay,
and
thank
see if
you.
that's
If
something
it's not
she-
possible, yeah, I get it, but, you know, I would think it would be. Because, you know, if there's a city council person on there, that's, you know, different poll or different ballot, right? So
Correct.
it's not a huge deal, just a little nit.
I'll send a message to her though and see if that's
Well,
something
it's a
in the
different
future.
ballot. Wouldn't that separate them right there?
Should be very.
You would think, but when they tally the numbers, they combine them. And I
They
just
do.
don't know if they can separate them out or not.
Oh, on that night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they never publish it as a separate, you know.
Right. Because you're putting both ballots are going into the same machine, even
Right.
though they're designated separately and
Right.
individuals get it.
Right.
I
Exactly.
see your concern.
It's like, you're kind of wanting to know the percentage of voters that voted in that ward. Would that be kind of what you would be
Yeah.
looking
Sure.
for?
Right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you
And
can kind of get
You
those,
can get that information now
you
already.
can get that
It's
raw
already on the
number, but,
results.
yeah.
But yes, I will definitely, I'll touch base with her.
Very good. Any questions on 1628? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, no. And moving on to second reads, Councilwoman Nelson, if you would present 1625.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Bill number 1625, an ordinance adopting the official budget and capital improvement program and appropriating the funds of the city for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022. I make a motion that we read bill number 1625 for a third and final reading at next council meeting.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are we ready to put this to bed? Any
No, we'll,
additions, subtractions, or?
oh,
No, we're not putting it
when you
to
said
bed.
to bed, I'm like, no, we're doing third next read.
That's
next
right,
council
yeah,
meeting.
yeah. I'm ready to get it done.
Just two.
But any other big changes or minor changes you'd like to mention?
There's been no changes since last council meeting.
Nothing's
Okay.
different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will call for the question. All those in favor say yes,
Yes.
and opposed no.
No.
All right, just to confirm, that was Councilman Braun and Councilwoman Nelson, both noes? Okay, just one moment. All right, so we have 5, and 2, and 1. So it does move forward.
Very good. Next up, bill number 1626, if you would, Councilman Simmons.
I'd like to advance this to final reading tonight if I can.
Sure.
Okay. Bill number 1626, an ordinance amending section 110-248, speed limits, paragraph 3, Fulton City Code, by designating a speed limit for certain streets and establishing an effective date. I make a motion we advance bill number 1625 to third and final reading at tonight's meeting.
26.
1626.
1626.
Second.
5.
No.
I second 1626.
Thank you. Yeah. All righty. Any discussion on 1626?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to propose an amendment to the speed limits that have been proposed from 20 miles an hour to 25 miles per hour.
So is that a motion to amend the ordinance to 25 miles per hour?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have a second to that motion to amend?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
All right, do we have any discussion on
Discussion.
that amendment?
I know I've driven it several times. I have to work to get up to 25. It's not easy.
So it's self-limiting.
And so 20, I don't have a problem with 20.
It's self-limiting, but in my opinion, our residential areas are more tuned to being 25 than 20. That's where I'm coming from. Again, I'm trying to get to the consistency thing.
I know all the residents, all the roads just across industrial from there are in Coach Sandestin, I mean, are all at 25.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Ballard, Code Sandestin, that's the complete.
Coatesville, that's the other end of
St.
town.
Eunice?
Mean St.
St.
Eunice.
Eunice.
same unit.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I knew what
I knew where he meant. I knew where he was too.
At least I'm in the
We're
right
messed up
bill.
people.
so.
Yeah.
I had this map going through my brain like,
I didn't
Wrong end of town.
we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
I just
believe-
would like to say consistency in neighborhoods and whatever it might be, and it's not gonna be resolved tonight,
No,
but
of course not.
No.
I think it needs to be consistent between neighborhoods, no matter what the neighborhoods are.
When you're coming off of if I may, when you're coming off St. Eunice, you can actually get up to 30 miles an hour. Takes an effort, but, you know.
If I have
that-
enough
that-
horsepower, I can get there in anything.
That's a pretty
I
good,
know, that's
exactly.
pretty-
Well, I had my son-in-law's truck, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty.
it was, you know, and that's a pretty straight road. The rest of them are pretty windy, and there's cars parked, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
barriers to driving that speed. But I just think 25 is more consistent with where we should be.
I guess the traffic commission suggested that that road was 20 miles per hour, and that's what I'm going to vote towards, is what the traffic commission recommended. If you have to work to get up to 25 miles an hour, then why make the speed limit 25 miles an hour?
I think
It
Mike's
might as
looking,
well be 20.
Mike's looking for consistency. I had approached the traffic commission.
what makes it where you want to go slower? There's a turn?
Yeah, there's
Is there
turns, and there's,
signage of the turn?
Traffic.
No, the only
That-
speed limit sign is as you enter the subdivision.
Yes, there's
And
one.
it's at 30 miles an hour.
Right.
There's 30, and there's,
And then you've got about 6 houses before it makes a left-hand turn,
Goes this,
and then
then
it's
it
all
goes-
winding.
Yeah.
And you've
There's-
got parking
Maybe a
and
little
traffic
yellow
and
with a
kids and
safety turn
neighborhoods.
signs would help more than a speed limit sign.
Yeah. There's,
know.
I mean, there's people
I'm not
parked in the
excited.
street, there's, you know,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
lot
both
of
sides, yeah.
it. It's,
Well, regardless, that's the motion on the floor, to change that from,
To amend it.
to amend it to, say, 25.
yes, sir.
Any other discussion on
Yeah, I
that?
got one
portion?
question real quick. Are we just making this because the speed limit's already just 30? If we're having a hard time getting to 25 or having a hard time getting to 30, why are we even setting it? I mean, that just seems like extra work.
Yeah,
So
right.
It's
Tell
really
people if they
self-limiting,
have to.
Alan.
Self-limiting. You can't get there. I understand wanting to make it safe, but are we just going through more hassle and putting up signs when we don't actually need them?
Because
if you can't
evidently
get there to begin with.
the complaint was the cars that are trying to get to 30 miles per hour
Sure.
causing a problem in the neighborhood, and that
Yeah.
was the request to drop it down.
Okay. So yeah, if it's a problem, then I have no problem with it. But if it's a, I mean, that just sounds like a,
If I remember right, this was complaint driven from the
Okay.
neighborhood for the folks that are trying to get to
Sure.
30 miles an hour.
And I was the one that suggested the 20. They came to
Sure.
me, I took it to the commission. 20 was what we had recommended, the traffic commission. Mike was trying to make it a little more consistent in
Yeah.
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's the reason he wants to amend that and go to 25. Is to kind of, so that's kind of where we're at.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to amend the ordinance from 20 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour.
So what do you need?
All right.
Call the
So
question.
We already got the motion, we
Yep.
just need a vote.
Yep. All those in favor say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed, no.
No.
All right, can the noes please raise your hands for me? All right. Simmons, Stone, Braun. Okay, so I have 1 absent, 3 opposed, and remaining 2. So that amendment does not pass. Okay.
All righty. We will not be doing that.
Okay.
Amendments.
So now we vote on it at 20.
20.
Correct.
Yeah, so
As
that's
original.
still,
Sorry, Mike.
that is still on the floor and has a second, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
Fine.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
And opposed, no?
No.
No,
Only, okay, Councilwoman Reclue and Councilman West.
I'll go with
Okay.
25.
You can vote for it, I don't care.
That's all.
And now
Okay.
we'll do third
Consistency,
reading?
Mike.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, if you would again, third read.
Okay. Bill number 1626, an ordinance amending section 110-248, speed limits, paragraph 3, Fulton City Code, by designating a speed limit for certain streets and establishing an effective date. I make a motion, we advance bill number 1626 to final approval at this meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
What's he gonna vote against it?
Any other discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
And opposed, no.
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 And you've all heard the bill read 3 times. At this time, Madam Clerk, if you would take roll call for final vote.
All right, Mr. Combs?
yes.
Ms. Nelson?
Yes.
Ms. Reclue?
No.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. West?
No.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Okay, we have 5 affirmative, 2 opposed, and 1 absent. It passes.
Very good, thank you. All righty, moving on, we have one announcement. The remaining city council meeting for 2021 will be held November 9th, November 9th, November 23rd, and December 14th. We do have a need for executive session, so we'll be going to executive session for the reason of personnel.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
just as an announcement, just a reminder that the Brick District will be having their Court Street trick or treat this Sunday
Yeah, right
that
on.
they presented to us at the last meeting.
From 4 to 6.
What were the hours, 4 to 6? Okay, thank you.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to.
So we do need a motion to enter executive session.
Motion
Make a
to
motion
adjourn
to
executive.
executive session.
Second.
Okay,
Got that?
And we'll
All
do a
those in favor
roll
say.
call
Oh,
vote for that. Ms. Nelson? Ms. Reclue?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. West? Mr. Braun,
Yes.
Mr. Combs.
Yes.
Seven affirmative, 1 absent.
We
head
shall
to-
return.
Department heads, stick around.